Hey Dad, do you have a second?
Sure, Matthew. Have a seat. What's up?
It's a question about the church.
I see. I'll do my best to answer correctly.
Well, it's probably a lot to ask, but what exactly is His holy church?
That is a pretty big question. I think a lot of people like to think they know what a church is, even believing they know what His church and His holy church is. But what we believe to be the church is probably a lot different to what the church really is, lawfully and legally, and what it is to Jesus, its principal and master. I think a good place to start this discussion is by looking at Guideline 6 of Appendix 10 in the Free Church Report. Guideline 6, in Appendix 10, of the Free Church Report, gives us a general overview of who appointed His holy church, and what He told His holy church to do. With a basic understanding of this information, we can begin to see what His holy church is, by knowing what its purpose is. His holy church has been appointed by the beneficiary to minister to His faithful, His children, and those who wish to return to the Lord in His kingdom on earth. Therefore, as His subjects and ministers, they, meaning His holy church, represent the beneficiary in service. I think it is pretty self-evident that the use of the word His in this guideline is in reference to Jesus. Jesus is the beneficiary, and He is the one doing the appointing. In Luke 22:29, we see Jesus, the anointed king, appointing His kingdom to His disciples, His little flock. His holy church is His little flock of called-out ministers. Like Peter and the other disciples, they are one form of government, appointed by their king to feed His sheep. In John chapter 21, we read about Jesus asking Peter if Peter loves Him. Peter says that he does love Jesus. Then Jesus directs Peter to feed Jesus' sheep. In this verse, we see the king of the kingdom directing his chief servant in what the king's standing orders, or prime directive, is for his government body to administer. Guideline 6 is merely a restatement of the appointing by the king to his holy church, which is his government body, his prime directive, for his government to fulfill on Jesus' behalf, which is to minister to His sheep, His faithful, His children, and those seeking to return to His kingdom on earth. Black's Law Dictionary also helps to explain what His holy church is. And in Black's definition of the word church, we see elements of this prime directive given by Jesus to His government ministers to do on His behalf for His sheep. His holy church represents Jesus, the anointed king, as a government in service to the people. Black's defines church, in its most general sense, the religious society founded and established by Jesus the Christ, to receive, preserve and propagate His doctrines and ordinances. Church may also mean a body of communicants gathered into church order. A body, or community of Christians, united under one form of government by the profession of the same faith and the observance of the same ritual and ceremonies. His holy church is a body of communicants gathered into church order, a government body of servants within a larger body, a whole society, or nation. This larger body, the whole society, the whole nation, are all the families who are faithful to Jesus as their king. His holy church is the government that represents the king in service to the whole body of His faithful, His children, and anyone who wishes to return to His kingdom on earth.
Gee Dad, I think I am starting to get it. What if I said, all U.S. citizens that work in all three branches of the federal government, in service to all U.S. citizens, are like a body of ministers within a larger national body of U.S. citizens? All those citizens called out to serve in the federal government would be similar to what His holy church is in the kingdom of heaven, correct?
Yes. I would agree with that. Of course, these two different forms of government, HHC and the USA, operate by two completely different spirits and characters.